The day starts early for 17-year-old Brandon. His mom is already up. She's filling out Brandon's college scholarship forms while he gets ready for another day at school. He's in a hurry. The bell will ring in less than an hour. Sometimes it seems like there's never a chance to slow down.
Especially now, my senior year is really starting to stress me out because you're being pulled so many different directions. And you have to make a decision, and those decisions will affect you for the rest of your life.
It is time for you all to go.
There's a lot of pressure, and there's a lot of pressure within this household. You know, not necessarily negative pressure, but I get a lot of pressure from my mom. She's talking about like my applications for college, scholarship forms.
GPA's got to be 2.5, and this is for $5,000.
And she always says, I'm not paying for 4 years of college. So, oh yeah, there's a lot of pressure. And then there's a pressure where I don't want to be a failure, you know.
Homework, grades, money, college, football. How do you get everything done?
I do feel overwhelmed about all this. Because to me, it's a lot of pressure. You know, I'm only 17 now. My mom's made most of my decisions. But now it's time for me to step up to the plate and make my own decisions.
What are some things Brandon can do to cope with the stress he's facing? As teenagers, what is there to worry about? Plenty.
I have a lot of friends that are worried about terrorism and violence.
Peer pressure, drugs, alcohol.
I think there's more competition nowadays to go to like the best college, to make the best SAT score, since like everybody's trying to be the best.
I've been running from practice to practice and schoolwork and everything, so it's a lot of pressure out there.
I expect myself to do well, and then my parents know that I'm smart, so they expect me to do well too.
Everybody expects something of you, and it's hard to live up to everybody else's standards.
You want to be like better than everybody else, or I know I do. I want to be like on top of the pile.
Sometimes I feel like I have so much stress on me, and at this age, I should be like enjoying myself, but sometimes I don't feel like I'm enjoying life as I should be.
Actually, what's happening with these kids is that they don't think they're good enough. And somehow or another, they think if I can just get it right, have all A's, all hundreds, I will be okay.
Many teens push themselves too hard, and then there's pressure from parents and teachers.
I do believe that things have become more complicated for children. There's a lot of competition out there, and there's a lot of push from adults and parents for children to do more.
It's fun to be involved at school, in sports, the play, or band, but it can get to be too much. Parents know that from experience, and they know that sometimes choices have to be made.
You gotta do what you can and let the rest go. It's a tough lesson though. It's a hard thing to learn.
Kids don't often have the number of hours in a day to do what they need to do. So we can certainly help by looking at scheduling and cutting out things that aren't necessarily very essential.
But when it comes to schoolwork, there isn't a lot that can be cut. There will always be homework, projects, and tests. Lizzie feels the stress physically whenever she takes a test.
I stress. I have horrible stress. I will sit and contemplate over it. It will give me a headache. I get extremely sweaty. Like, my hands will sweat. I won't even be able to hold my pencil. I have to sit and wipe my hands.
And she's not alone. A lot of kids have serious anxiety before an exam.
Sweats, vomiting, sleep disturbances. We see a lot of that.
People get stressed out and then just totally bomb a test.
A lot of the time I'll stay up really late and I'll do flashcards and whatever, and then when it comes to the test I just sort of forget.
According to one study, a protein called PKC may be responsible for short-term memory loss.
Unpredicted stress or unexpected events over which we have no control can activate levels of PKC and cause some of the forgetfulness and the scatteredness that we all feel when we're really stressed. I think it's kind of validating that it's not just, oh, we're crazy and scattered, but there's really a reason why we tend to lose it a bit when we are, or not be more forgetful, when we're overstressed and overscheduled.
Under pressure, people don't think as clearly or carefully, but there are ways to calm yourself down, clear your mind, and remember what you've learned.
I would suggest the kid get up, go get a drink of water in the hall, or tell the teacher, I'm freaking out. I am completely drawing a blank. I've got to walk around. Can I pace outside the door? Physically remove yourself from the situation and take some slow, deep breaths. The more they stare at that test paper, the more helpless they're going to feel.
You have more control, more power than you realize. And it begins long before the test. Good study habits, not getting behind in a subject, not cramming at the last minute. All of that helps. And then, right before the test,
get a good night's rest, eat a balanced meal, come to school dressed comfortably, try to keep peace at home. Don't make a quarrel with your parents the night before a major test.
one more thing. Don't lose your perspective. Grades are important, but obsessing about a test or a paper produces just the kind of stress and anxiety that is counterproductive, that makes you do even worse.
So I think the earlier you can kind of get a handle on your stress, the more effective you can be at making strategies work for you.
And there are effective ways of dealing with stress.
I know when I get really stressed, I go to dance, I work really hard. You have to forget about it for just, a couple hours or something. Get away, do something, get the stress out somehow, and then start over. Go home, and just be like, okay, I'm just gonna start from the beginning. Like you fell a day behind on homework, or everything's just piling up, and you just gotta take it a piece at a time.
I take a bubble bath.
Yes.
That helps.
That's funny because I always take a hot shower. And I think there's something about feeling clean that makes me feel smart.
It's funny that you mentioned feeling clean. One of the things I clean up my room. Now I think about it. I still remember the morning before I took my SATs. I was cleaning my room.
Because you feel organized.
You just feel, and
being organized makes you feel smart.
I guess that is true. Feeling clean. That's up. Wow. It's kind of funny.
And organization isn't just a good feeling, it actually helps get things done faster and better, which obviously lowers stress.
Use planners or agendas, some organizational scheme for effectively managing all the things they need, not just the appointments they need to meet today, but scheduling out those long-term assignments down the road.
But staying organized isn't always easy, especially when things move so fast, and change is almost constant. Change is a big source of stress.
Let's get a cup.
16 million families move in America every year. Mercedes and Anthony have both done it, and both know how stressful it can be.
It's just way different, the whole atmosphere and the people.
It was kind of hard to leave all my friends, and it's just horrible,
I miss the clubs, I miss being in track, and just being a part of a school that where I knew everyone and where everyone knew me.
Anthony moved from Italy to the U.S. Mercedes moved from Los Angeles to a small town in the Midwest. They both worried about how they'd fit in.
If the school is big, you get lost, and the people around you just look at you and you're like, it's just a really bad experience.
It was weird because the way they dress, the way they talk, the way they act.
They feel really lost because they had so much of their lives connected to their social world at home.
Every school has its own social structure, and it can be pretty intimidating being the new kid in school.
So for example, you're in the cafeteria, you're just sitting by yourself, you don't know anything, you don't know what to do, you just look around, people look around back at you. So that's pretty scary.
A lot of people said I was a snob or I was stuck up.
So how do you overcome the stress of being the new kid in school? By making an effort and jumping right in.
I think the most important thing is to just get involved in your community. The Spanish club, the French club, the German club, the Latin club. Sports is a wonderful way to feel a part of and to feel needed and included.
Always trying to be friendly as much as you can. Let them understand you wanna be their friend. And don't be shy. Don't be shy at all.
It didn't take long for Anthony to make new friends. But if it's hard, if you think you need a little help...
Most high schools around the country have guidance offices with guidance counselors that are trained to make these students feel included, to make the students almost forget that they've moved.
Those first few days might seem endless, but then you start making friends. That's what happened to Mercedes. She says that it was her mom who taught her how to get through those tough early days.
She's a real strong person, and she can always bounce back from, hard situations. Because she has been through a lot of hard stuff, so I think she's really strong, and I really admire her for that, because she, her perseverance and her strength. She's like the reason why I am the way I am.
It may not happen immediately, but making friends is just a matter of a little effort and a little time.
You can't just sit around waiting for the phone to ring for someone to say, hey, let's go out. You have to take the initiative. You have to say, let's go out sometime. Let's, go do something. Or I want to join the chorus. I want to be in the school play. You have to take the initiative.
I met a lot of nice people.
They got to know me, and we're all worked out.
Making new friends, changing schools, studying for tests. All of these are stressful, but not compared to the stress that some teens endure.
I am the only person with my type of cancer who relapsed after a bone marrow transplant and did not die within weeks.
Rachel was diagnosed with a rare cancer when she was in 10th grade. Since then, she's been in treatment, and she's watched fellow patients, friends, die.
Little Josh, he just passed away recently.
So, every day for the last 6 years, she's had to wonder when she was going to die.
I would see the struggles they had gone through and how they were similar to mine, and then that they hadn't made it, and wondering, when is my time to go, or am I gonna make it? And I just got lots of thoughts rolling.
So how does she deal with all of those thoughts?
I think a really healthy and helpful way is to not try to push it down inside of you, but to try to, let it out and deal with it. And that way, it's a lot easier than it just growing inside of you and trying to take over. I have a lot of different ways I've learned to cope and do things with the pain. I do a lot of artwork, and I write poetry. I write in a journal, listen to music, talk to my friends, volunteer with different charities. Anything to be, helping others and helping myself and just getting stuff out, not letting it eat me up inside.
She's very resilient. I'm not sure sometimes how she does it.
Rachel says her ability to deal with cancer and her fears about death have a lot to do with attitude.
Probably just trying to keep positive over and over when you feel like you might keep getting defeated, whether it's some of the people you're fighting with passing away, or if it's, more treatments, or if the cancer's getting worse, or just trying to keep that positiveness going, even when you feel like you're losing a lot of resources.
Rachel has some advice for anyone who is feeling overwhelmed by stress.
You need to figure out a way to get some of that hurt out of you and try to talk to other people in the same situation and find out that you're really not alone and that your feelings are normal no matter what you're thinking or doing.
And remember, you just might surprise yourself with how much you can handle.
I remember thinking, if I ever got sick again, I don't think I could handle it. But here I am, and I'm still positive. I'm still going strong. I don't really know where it comes from, but I'm happy that it does come.
Rachel is dealing with questions of life and death. Her resilience helps her get through. Anthony and Mercedes had to move, fit in at a new school, and make new friends. Their positive attitudes help them overcome a stressful situation. And Brandon, he's still trying to keep up with a packed schedule and wondering how he'll get everything done.
I go straight from school, which is work all day, to football. Football, I'm thinking about football. As soon as I get home, think about homework, scholarships, applications, friends. Then I'm thinking about football again because I have to look over my plays.
When we've got so much on our plates, when we're focusing on so much, how can we possibly give everything the attention it deserves?
Brandon isn't ready to slow down. So what does he do to deal with his stress?
If I'm really that stressed out, he'll take it out on the football field.
Or he'll spend time alone, listening to his favorite music or talking to friends on the phone.
But I told you the whole thing about this.
But what all of these teens have in common, whether they're overscheduled, nervous about a test, or seriously ill, is that they all talk to someone about how they feel.
Whatever their emotions are, they need to know it's okay. Anything is okay, let it come out. Because when it comes out, number one, there's a release and a sense of, feeling more peaceful and calm inside.
I don't teach my children to suppress anything about life. And life is too wonderful, life is too vivacious not to be able to tell someone something that you're feeling. And certainly if it's causing a disturbance in your peace factor, then you need to say whatever it is.
And Brandon is doing what he can to get himself organized and stay ahead of the game.
I just don't want to put myself in that predicament where I make myself, an easy catch for failure. Failure's gonna have to come find me. I'm gonna be running.
What strategies do you use to deal with stress? What other strategies could you try?